It started with a swipe. Or, more precisely, with me not swiping fast enough. I was sitting cross-legged on my bed, phone in one hand, a pint of strawberry ice cream in the other, staring blankly at a profile I wasn't even sure I wanted to match with. And then there was Isla, hair in a messy bun, her mouth pressed into a lazy smirk, snatching the phone from my hand like she owned it. "Nope," she said, swiping left. Double nope. And hell no. I blinked. "Excuse me? I'm not letting you go out with someone who wears Crocs in their profile pic. It's a matter of principle. You're not even gay." "Exactly. And even I know that's a lesbian offense." I tried to snatch the phone back, but she held it out of reach, climbing over my duvet like a cat with a mission. "What are you doing?" I asked, half laughing, half horrified. "Fixing your love life." "I didn't ask you to." "You didn't have to," she said, tongue caught between her teeth as she studied the next profile. "I've been watching you bomb at this for months. Someone had to intervene. You're impossible. You're hopeless." I rolled my eyes and gave up, letting her swipe away. She was my best friend, my roommate, my other half in a very specific, deeply platonic way that never included sharing a bed, or getting jealous, or imagining what her mouth would taste like. Until lately, it did. Isla didn't know that, of course. She thought she was just helping me find someone. She didn't know she was the reason I'd stopped wanting anyone else. "This one's cute," she said, turning the screen to me. I glanced. Blonde. Big eyes. Pretty in the way everyone said they wanted. "Sure," I said. "Okay." Isla grinned and swiped right. Finally. Progress. She dropped the phone onto the bed and flopped down beside me. If you enjoyed this content and want to support the channel in a special way, try clicking the thanks button below. It's the one with the heart and $sign icon. With super thanks, you can make a direct contribution to the channel, which helps me keep creating awesome videos for you. Stretching like she'd just finished a workout. Her shirt rode up slightly, exposing a sliver of skin above her waistband, and I looked away before my brain could start making choices my body couldn't unmake. "You should text her," Isla said, nudging me. "Ask her out for coffee. Make it casual. Don't overthink it. You're assuming I know how to flirt. You flirt all the time." "When?" "With me." The air changed. She said it so casually, but something shifted under the surface. I looked at her, and for a second, I swore she was looking back at me like she knew. Like she was testing something. "I don't flirt with you," I said, my voice too steady. "Okay," she said, but her smile didn't fade. "If you say so." That night, I lay in bed thinking about her laugh. About how she always knew when to bring me coffee and when to leave me alone. About the way her hand sometimes brushed mine on the couch, and how I always pretended it didn't make my heart stumble. I'd liked girls before. Dated a few. Got my heart broken, too. But no one had ever felt like Isla. No one had made me feel like I was constantly standing on the edge of something I didn't have the language to name. Over the next week, she kept helping. She helped me pick outfits, edit messages, choose photos. She sat next to me while I texted dates, reading over my shoulder, offering snarky commentary and the occasional emoji suggestion. And every time her thigh pressed against mine, I pretended I didn't feel it in places I wasn't supposed to. I went on 2 dates. One was fine. The other was boring. But neither of them were Isla. And that was the problem. Because I'd started measuring everyone against her. How easily they made me laugh. How comfortable the silence felt. How safe I felt just sitting next to them. And no one measured up. "You didn't text her back," Isla said one morning, holding up my phone like it had betrayed her. "She asked you to get drinks this weekend." "I'm not really feeling it," I said. "Why not? You said she was nice." "She was." "So?" I hesitated, then shrugged. "I don't know. I guess I'm just tired." Isla narrowed her eyes. "Tired of dating, or tired of not being into anyone?" "Both. You need to stop comparing every girl to some imaginary perfect one." "What if she's not imaginary?" The words were out before I could stop them. Isla blinked. "What do you mean?" I shook my head, backpedaling. Nothing. Just ignore me. But she didn't. That night, we were watching a movie on the couch, her legs in my lap, a bowl of popcorn between us, when she said, out of nowhere, "You're not into dating right now because you're into someone else." I stiffened. "That's not." "It is," she said, turning toward me. "And I think I know who it is." I swallowed. "You do?" She nodded slowly. "I think it's someone you're close to. Someone you spend a lot of time with. Someone who makes you feel like yourself." "You're describing you," I said, barely breathing. "I know." Her voice was quiet, careful. "Is it me?" I didn't speak. I couldn't. My silence answered for me. She sat up, eyes scanning mine. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you're straight. Because you're my best friend. Because I didn't want to ruin everything." "What if you didn't ruin it?" she said. "What if you changed it?" "Isla, I've been thinking about you too." Don't say that if you don't mean it." "I do," she said. "I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means. But I know I haven't been helping you date because I want you to find someone. I think I've been helping because I wanted a reason to be close to you without admitting I wanted more." The room spun. My heart felt too big for my ribs. I reached for her hand. She let me. And when she leaned in, it wasn't just a kiss. It was a realization, a surrender, a beginning. And as her lips pressed to mine, uncertain but hungry, I knew. I hadn't fallen for my best friend while she helped me date. I'd been falling for her all along. We didn't talk about the kiss. Not that night. Not the morning after. Not even as Isla made coffee in the kitchen, humming to herself like nothing had happened, like she hadn't pressed her mouth to mine and made my entire world tilt on its axis. I watched her from the hallway, her back turned, her hair falling loose down her back, and all I could think about was how her lips had felt against mine. So soft, so sure, so terrifyingly real. She glanced over her shoulder when she noticed me. "Morning," she said, casual as ever. "Want your usual?" "Sure," I said, because I didn't know what else to say. She slid the mug toward me across the counter. Our fingers didn't touch. She didn't look me in the eye. And something in my chest twisted hard. "Isla," I started, but she cut me off. "You've got work soon, right? You should get ready." I stared at her, trying to read the expression she wasn't letting me see. "We should talk about it." "There's nothing to talk about," she said too quickly. "It was a moment. We don't have to make it into anything." A moment. I repeated the words in my head like they might stop hurting. "Right," I said, forcing a nod. "Nothing." But it didn't feel like nothing. It felt like the beginning of something I'd been holding back for way too long. At work, I kept checking my phone like she might text, apologize, clarify, invite me to talk about the thing neither of us were supposed to want. But nothing came. Just silence. I got home late, and the apartment was dim, quiet. Her bedroom door was closed. I didn't knock. The next morning, she was already gone. For the next few days, we fell into a rhythm that felt like pretending. She was polite, friendly. She made jokes and asked about my day. But she never sat close to me on the couch. Never touched my arm when she laughed. Never reached for the phone to help me swipe left or right. And all I could think about was the moment before the kiss, when everything still felt safe. I missed her. Not just the way she'd made me feel that night, but the version of her I'd known before it. The version who curled up next to me during horror movies and stole bites of my food without asking and whispered secrets into the dark. I missed the way she used to look at me. The way I never had to wonder if I mattered. Friday night, I couldn't take it anymore. I found her in the kitchen, barefoot in shorts and an old sweatshirt, stirring a pot of pasta like we were just two roommates sharing dinner. "We can't keep doing this," I said. She didn't turn around. Doing what? Pretending like we didn't kiss. Pretending like it didn't mean anything. What if it didn't? Her voice was soft, but it cut like a blade. "Then I'm the only one who felt it," I said. "And I need to know if that's true." She turned then, finally looking at me. Her eyes were tired. Sad. "It scared me, okay?" "Why?" Because I didn't expect to want you like that. I didn't plan it. I thought I was helping you. I thought I was safe. And now I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I stepped closer. You kissed me, Isla. I know. Then tell me why. She opened her mouth, closed it, took a breath. Because I wanted to. Because you looked at me like I was already yours, and for 1 second, I wanted to be. The words hit me so hard I forgot how to breathe. Then why pull away? Because you mean everything to me, she said. And if we screw this up, I lose my best friend. You already lost her, I whispered. She's not just your best friend anymore. Isla's eyes widened. Rowan, don't call it a mistake, I said. Don't pretend this is something we can just erase. She moved then, slow, hesitant, like she wasn't sure if I'd let her close again. But I didn't move. I let her reach me. Her hand brushed my cheek. Her thumb traced the line of my jaw. I haven't stopped thinking about it, she whispered. About you. Then stop running. She kissed me again. This time slower. Deeper. Like she'd spent every second since the first kiss regretting not doing it again. My hands found her hips. Her arms wound around my neck. And everything we hadn't said poured out of our mouths. Our fingertips. Our breath. She pulled me to the couch, straddling my lap, her mouth never leaving mine. And when she finally pulled back, cheeks flushed, hair messy, she whispered, I don't know how to do this. Neither do I. But I want to try. Then stay here, I said. Start here. And she did. We sat there for hours. Talking. Laughing. Touching. Our knees pressed together, her head resting on my shoulder, my hand tracing circles on her thigh. She told me she hadn't looked at anyone else since the first time I smiled at her that way. I told her I stopped dating because I was already in love with someone who wasn't mine. She told me maybe I was always hers, even when she didn't know what to do with it. And when we went to bed that night, it was together. Fully clothed. No rush. No labels. Just two girls learning how to stop being afraid of what had already started. We didn't talk about what we were. Not after that night. Not even when we woke up tangled together, Isla's head resting on my shoulder, her hand loosely curled against my ribs like it belonged there. The sun poured in through the half-open blinds, soft and warm and too honest. And for a second, I thought maybe this was how it would be now. Slow mornings, no more pretending, no more pulling away. But Isla didn't say anything. She blinked against the light, smiled sleepily, kissed my collarbone, and stood up like it was just another day. She made coffee. I watched her move around the kitchen in my hoodie. She handed me my mug without a word and curled up beside me on the couch like she hadn't spent the night with her lips on mine and my name falling out of her mouth like a secret. You working today? She asked, voice casual. Yeah. Double shift. Want me to bring you something after? Coffee? Food? I blinked. Sure. Cool. She leaned over, kissed my cheek, and turned back to her phone. And just like that, we slipped into the gray space again. Not just friends. Not quite lovers. Something messy, eh? Something electric. Something we didn't know how to name. At work, my head wasn't where it should be. I kept staring at my screen, rereading texts that weren't there. My boss asked me to repeat myself twice. A coworker teased me about finally getting some because I couldn't stop smiling. And I didn't deny it. Because even if I didn't know what we were, I knew I wanted more of her. When my break rolled around, I checked my phone and found a message from Isla. You still alive? I replied, barely. Coffee would save me. 10 minutes later, she walked in like she belonged there. My coworkers stared. She brought my usual, a chocolate croissant, and an extra one, just in case someone tries to steal yours. She kissed the top of my head, left without waiting, and the girl at the next table raised her eyebrows. Was that your friend? I didn't answer, because I didn't know anymore. That night, we curled up on the couch. Same as always, but her legs ended up across mine. Her fingers tangled with mine. And when the movie got boring, she leaned in and kissed me like it was the most natural thing in the world. We should probably talk about this, I whispered against her mouth. Probably, she said, kissing me again. But we didn't. We just kept touching.
Kept kissing.
Kept pretending that the bubble we were living in didn't have to pop. Until it did. It happened on a Sunday. We were at brunch with friends. Our usual group, people we'd known since college. Isla sat beside me, our knees brushing under the table. She kept looking at me when she thought no one noticed. I kept catching her smile. And then one of our friends, Jess, leaned in with that sharp glint in her eyes.
So,
when are you two going to stop pretending you're not in love? The table went quiet. Isla froze. I did too.
What? She said way too fast.
Jess shrugged. Come on. You're basically living on top of each other. You bring her coffee at work. She looks at you like you invented light. We're not blind. Isla laughed, tight. We're just friends. Sure, Jess said, rolling her eyes. Friends who make out during movie night. That was one time, Isla said. Wait, you did make out? Another girl chimed in. Oh my God, I thought I was imagining that. Isla looked at me.
Panic.
Regret. Something darker. Rowan, she said, like a lifeline. Don't look at me, I said quietly. You're the one who keeps calling it nothing. It's not nothing. Then what is it? I don't know, she said, louder than she meant to. Everyone stared. She stood up. I need to go. I followed her outside. The wind was sharp, cold against my face. She was pacing on the sidewalk, jacket half-buttoned, her arms crossed like she was trying to hold herself together. You okay? I asked. No, Isla. I didn't mean for that to happen. I know. I wasn't ready. For people to know? For people to look at me and see the thing I don't know how to explain. I stepped closer. Then don't explain it. Just feel it. You make that sound so easy. It's not. It's terrifying. But we kissed. We slept together. We've been choosing each other in every way except the one that counts. So either we stop or we stop hiding. She stared at me, eyes wide, wet. I don't want to stop. Then say it. I'm scared.
Say that to me. Not to them. To me.
She nodded. I'm scared, she whispered. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be this. Then let me help you.
How? Like you helped me.
Back when I thought I needed someone else to feel seen. She exhaled, stepped into my arms, buried her face in my neck. I hate how much I need you. I love that you do. What if we mess this up? Then we mess it up together. She pulled back, looked at me like she was finally seeing it.
Us.
Can I stay in your bed tonight? She asked. Every night. And that's what we did. We stopped hiding. Slowly.
Carefully.
But we did. And maybe it wasn't perfect. Maybe the world still asked too many questions. But she kissed me in front of our friends the next week. Held my hand during a party. Called me babe in a way that made my heart race and my stomach flip. And when I asked her what we were now, she grinned and said, mine. And that was enough for me. Being hers felt dangerous in a way I hadn't expected. Not because she didn't want me.
She did. Not because she didn't say it.
She whispered it in the dark, against my skin, into my mouth when she kissed me so deeply I forgot my own name. But because even with her arms wrapped around me and our lives slowly merging together like two rivers that didn't know how to stop, I still felt the ghost of hesitation in her silence. In the way she paused before introducing me as her girlfriend. In the way her hand sometimes hesitated before reaching for mine in public. I didn't push. Not at first. I told myself it was new. That we were learning. That love didn't have to be loud to be true. But something inside me kept waiting for her to pull back again. And the waiting made me anxious. Made me quiet. Made me pull back, too. It happened one night after dinner. We were on the couch, her legs draped across mine. Our plates still sitting half-forgotten on the coffee table. She was scrolling through her phone, her free hand playing absently with the hem of my shirt. I was watching her, memorizing the curve of her jaw, the way her lashes brushed against her cheeks when she blinked. And I realized all at once how much I wanted her to say it. Not just I want you, Not just I'm scared. I wanted I'm yours. I wanted to hear it like a decision, not a question. Do you ever regret it? I asked. She looked up. Regret what? Us. Her brows furrowed. Why would you ask that? Because sometimes you look like you're waiting for it to fall apart. She was quiet. Too quiet. Then, I don't regret you. I regret how long it took me to see you. That's not the same as choosing me. I do choose you. Then why does it still feel like I'm the only one holding it up? Her mouth opened, then closed. She sat up, pulling her legs away, suddenly cold where she'd been warm seconds before. You think I'm not trying? I think you're scared of being seen with me the way you already are with me behind closed doors. That's not fair. Is it not true? I don't know, she snapped. Okay? I don't know. Everything's changing too fast. It's not changing. It's just showing. We've been this for months. The only difference is now people know. And you think that's easy for me? I don't think anything about this is easy, I said. But I'm standing here ready. And I'm asking if you are, too. Her eyes were wet. Her fists clenched. I didn't expect you to matter this much, she whispered. And now you do. And that scares the hell out of me. I stood. Then maybe you need to decide if loving me is worth being scared for. She didn't stop me when I walked into my room. Didn't follow me. The silence stretched between us, long and cruel. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, waiting for her knock, her apology, her arms pulling me back in. But it didn't come. And in the morning, her side of the bed was cold. Breakfast was quiet. She sat at the table, spooning cereal like it meant something. I poured coffee. We didn't speak. Until she did. I told my sister about you. I froze. What? Last night. After you went to bed. I called her. Why? Because I needed to say it out loud to someone who knew me before this. Before you. I turned slowly. And what did you say? That I'm in love with my best friend. That I didn't mean for it to happen. That it changed everything. And what did she say? Isla looked up at me. She said, finally. My throat tightened. So, what does that mean? It means I'm tired of hiding, she said. It means you were right. I've been halfway in, but I don't want to live halfway anymore. I crossed the room. She stood. I touched her face, my thumb brushing under her eye. I don't need you to be fearless, I said. I just need you to be with me. I'm here, she whispered, all the way. And she kissed me. Like a promise. Like an answer. Like a vow. That night, we lay together in a bed that felt different. Bigger. Brighter. Like a place we could grow something in. Her hands on my waist. My lips at her throat. The air between us heavy with truth. We made love slowly. No rush. No pretending. And when we were tangled in each other, skin warm and breath shaky, she whispered, "You're the best thing that's ever happened to me." And I believed her. Because now, finally, she wasn't just helping me date. She wasn't just my best friend. She was mine. It was strange how fast we fell into a rhythm once the fear was gone. Breakfast became shared. Mornings meant sleepy kisses in the kitchen, Isla standing in my hoodie, barefoot, hair a mess, eyes soft with sleep. We took turns making coffee. I left notes in her jacket pocket. She sent me selfies at work with captions like thinking of you. Also, how is this tie already wrinkled? And do I look too gay for this client? Hope so. At night, we cooked or ordered in. Watched movies we never finished. Made love until the city outside our windows faded into background noise. It was easy, comfortable, and I kept waiting for the catch. It came slowly, subtly. In the way Isla would check her phone twice before reaching for my hand in public. In the way she changed the subject when friends asked what our plans were for the holidays. In the silence that followed when I said, "I want to introduce you to my mom." "It's not that I don't want to," she said quickly. "It's just timing." Timing? I echoed. "It's been months, Isla." "I know. I'm not good at family stuff." "Then be good at us." She looked at me like I'd hit her. "You think I'm not trying?" I think you only try when no one else is watching. That fight ended with her sleeping in the other room. We didn't touch for 2 days. When she finally came back to our bed, she curled into me quietly, like an apology. I'm scared, she whispered against my neck. Of messing it up. Of not being enough. Of wanting this too much.
You already have it, I said.
You don't have to prove anything. Just show up. And for a while, she did. But there were still cracks. One afternoon, I was scrolling through my phone when a name popped up. Someone I hadn't heard from in over a year. My ex Sophie. Hey, weird question. Are you seeing Isla now? I froze. I stared at the message like it might burn a hole through the screen.
Why?
I typed back. The response came fast. Because I saw her profile still active on the dating app. Figured maybe you were open or... My stomach dropped. I didn't confront Isla right away. I waited. I watched. I told myself maybe it was old. Maybe she forgot to delete it. But the seed was planted.
And it grew fast.
The next morning, while she was in the shower, I opened her laptop. I know. I shouldn't have. But I did. Her profile was still there. Still active. Still matched with people. I closed it without reading more. Sat on the couch. Waited. She came out in a towel, hair wet, humming to herself. She looked happy, relaxed. And I hated how much that hurt.
We need to talk, I said.
She froze. What is it? Why is your dating profile still active? She blinked. What? Don't lie to me, Isla. Please. I'm not using it, but it's still there. She wrapped the towel tighter around herself. I forgot to delete it. You forgot?
Yes.
I swear. It's not like I'm on it. Then why are you still matched with people? Her silence said everything. Were you planning on telling me? I asked. I wasn't talking to them, she said. I wasn't ready to let go of the idea that if this goes wrong, I'd still have options. Jesus. Rowan, please. Is this still a game to you? No, she said, stepping forward. It's not. I've never been with someone like this before. So close. So real. I thought keeping that door cracked made it feel safer. Less final. But this is final, Isla. This is real. And you're either in it with me, or you're not. I am. Then act like it. We didn't speak the rest of the day. That night, she climbed into bed beside me, but didn't touch me. I stared at the ceiling, wondering when love started to feel like grief. The next morning, she was gone before I woke up. A note on the counter. I deleted the profile.
I'm sorry.
I read it twice, then threw it in the trash. That evening, she came home with flowers. My favorite. She cooked dinner, set the table, played our playlist. And when we sat across from each other, she reached for my hand and said, I'm scared of needing you, but I think I already do. It's okay to need me, I said. But don't lie to yourself and call it protection. It's self-sabotage. She nodded. I want to do better. Then let's start there. And we did.
Slowly. Carefully.
We rebuilt. Kiss by kiss. Truth by truth. Until the doubt started to quiet. Until her hand didn't shake when she reached for mine in public. Until she introduced me to her sister as her girlfriend. And when she whispered, I want you to meet my parents, I knew we were healing. Not perfect. Not easy. But finally real. The first time Isla introduced me as her girlfriend in public, it was in the middle of a sentence. We were at her coworker's engagement party, standing near the drinks table while she filled 2 glasses with something sparkling and probably too expensive. She turned to introduce me to someone from her office, a sharp-looking woman in a green jumpsuit and pointed heels, and without even thinking, Isla said, This is Rowan, my girlfriend.
Just like that.
No pause. No eye twitch. No quick look for permission. Just a word, tossed out like it belonged there. Like I belonged. I smiled, stunned. She didn't even seem to realize what she'd said until we walked away a few minutes later. Then she glanced at me, eyes wide, cheeks slightly flushed. Did I? Yeah, I said. You did. Was that okay? It was perfect.
And it was.
Because even if the world didn't stop turning, mine did. Just for a second. Just long enough to realize that all the waiting, all the fighting, all the falling apart, it had led to this. Her choosing me, without flinching. The weeks that followed were the closest thing to peace I'd felt in a long time. We fell into routines again, but this time they felt different. More grounded. Isla made breakfast more often. I left little notes in her coat pocket on the mornings she had big meetings. She started saying I love you without needing a dim room or a blanket to hide under. And I started believing it. Fully. Without fear. One night, as we lay tangled on the couch, her head on my chest and our legs a mess of blankets and limbs, she said, I think we should take a trip. I blinked. A trip? Just us. No friends. No expectations. Somewhere quiet. Where? Doesn't matter. As long as you're there. I smiled into her hair. Are you trying to seduce me with a weekend away? Is it working? Always. We settled on a cabin upstate. 3 hours out. Private. Quiet. The kind of place with a fireplace and no cell signal and stars that looked fake. They were so bright. I watched her unplug from the world in ways I'd never seen before. She left her laptop in her bag, turned her phone off completely, walked barefoot on the wooden floors and cooked us pasta while dancing to music. She refused to let me change. You're happy here, I said on the second night, watching her by the fire, her skin glowing in the flickering light. I'm happy with you, she said, walking over to curl into my lap. I don't care where we are. Do you ever think about the future? I asked. Sometimes. And does it scare you? Not as much as it used to. Why not? Because now when I picture it, you're there. My heart stuttered. I want that, I whispered. I want to build something real with you. She nodded, eyes glossy. Then let's keep building. That night, we didn't rush anything. We undressed each other like it meant something, like it was part of the promise. Every touch deliberate. Every kiss soft but firm. Her body against mine felt like home. And when I whispered I've never felt like this before, she answered, I know. Me neither. We fell asleep tangled together, the fire dying out beside us, the cold no match for the warmth we'd made. The next morning, I woke up to her fingers tracing my back. I could stay here forever, she murmured. Then let's never leave, I said. Tempting. But I think your job would notice. Only a little. And we have things to do. Like what? Like live a life together, she said. Not just run from everything. Even if the world doesn't always understand us, then we love each other louder. We didn't know it yet, but that weekend would be the turning point. The moment we started thinking we instead of you and me. The moment I stopped wondering if she'd leave. The moment she stopped questioning if she could stay. When we drove back to the city, the air between us felt different. Grounded. Solid. And when we walked back into our apartment, Isla dropped her bags, turned to me and said, Let's tell your mom. Are you serious? Dead serious. I want her to know who I love. She's going to adore you. Let's hope she doesn't ask too many questions about the months. We were just friends. We lie, I said, laughing. Badly. Then we tell the truth, she said. All of it. And that was the real beginning. Not the swipe. Not the kiss. Not even the fight. But this, standing in our kitchen, post-trip, post-fear, post-hiding, ready to show the world that what we had wasn't temporary. Wasn't experimental. Wasn't fragile. It was real. It was love. It was us. Coming back to the city was harder than we expected. We thought the peace from the cabin would follow us like a scent that clung to skin, like heat we could carry under our clothes. But the minute we stepped off the train, the noise came back. The deadlines. The notifications. The weight of the lives we had before we belonged to each other. We unpacked in silence. I hung her coat on the hook. She placed our toothbrushes side by side again like nothing had shifted. But something had. I could feel it in the way she lingered in the hallway after brushing her teeth. In the way her messages became shorter during the day. In the way she stopped reaching for my hand when we walked into crowded rooms. I didn't say anything at first. I told myself it was just stress. Re-entry. a temporary tightness. But one night, while we were folding laundry on the couch, Isla looked up and said, "I got an offer." I paused mid-fold. "What kind of offer?"
"A job."
"Out of state." My heart thudded. "Where?" "Seattle." I blinked. "That's not close." "I know. And it's a big opportunity. Higher position. Better pay. The kind of thing I didn't think I'd get for another 5 years." "And you're thinking about it?" She didn't answer, which was answer enough. I stood up, walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, even though I wasn't hungry. "Rowan, I thought we were building something." "We are." "Then why does it feel like you're already packing?"
"Because this is a lot," she said.
"Because I didn't expect to fall in love and get a life-changing job offer in the same 6 months." "So what? You have to pick one?" "I don't know. Maybe." I turned, heart pounding. "You want to leave?" "I don't want to, but I also don't want to regret staying." "And you think you'd regret me?" "No," she said quickly. "Never you. Just the version of myself I might never become if I don't take this." "Then take it," I said. "If it means that much." "Rowan, go.
Take the job. Move.
Start fresh. Just don't expect me to pretend like this doesn't break something. It doesn't have to be the end." "Then what is it?" "It's a pause." A pause is what people say when they don't want to admit they're already letting go. She crossed the room, took my hands. "I don't want to lose you." "Then stay." Her eyes filled. "I don't know how to choose." "You already have." I pulled away, went to bed alone. The silence that night was different from any we'd shared before. It didn't hum. It didn't ache. It was hollow.
Dead.
In the morning, she was gone.
Just like that.
I stared at the note on the counter. "I need time. Please don't stop loving me." I crumpled it, threw it in the sink. For 2 weeks, I didn't hear from her. Not a call, not a text, not a knock. I tried to be angry. I tried to tell myself that love shouldn't feel like begging someone to stay. But the truth was I missed her like a phantom limb. I'd reach for her in the night, and remember, she wasn't there. I'd pour 2 mugs of coffee before remembering I only needed one. Then on a Thursday evening, the buzzer rang. I froze, walked to the intercom.
Press the button.
"Hello." Her voice came through, soft, tired, breaking. "It's me." I pressed the door open. She stood in the hallway, her hair pulled back, eyes rimmed red, suitcase beside her. "What?" "I didn't take it," she said. "The job." She nodded. "Why?" She stepped forward. "Because I realized something. I want to grow. I want to become the best version of myself. But not at the cost of losing the one person who made me brave enough to imagine that future in the first place." "You chose me?" "I chose us." I broke. Tears fell. She dropped her bag and wrapped her arms around me, and I held her like I'd been holding space for this moment since the second she left. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I needed to go far enough to realize I didn't want distance. You hurt me." "I know. I don't want promises. I want presence." "Then I'll be here. Every morning. Every night. Every messy in between." "You can't run again." "I'm done running." That night, we lay in bed, silent and steady. No fireworks. No rush. Just 2 people trying again. Choosing each other in a world that keeps offering escape. And when I woke up to her breath against my neck and her hand gripping mine in her sleep, I knew. We wouldn't be perfect, but we'd be real.
It took time. Real time.
The kind that passes slowly, unevenly, full of hesitation and quiet attempts. After Isla came back, we didn't rush into anything. We didn't jump into laughter or kisses or late-night promises. We moved carefully,
gently,
like we both knew how close we'd come to breaking for good. She kept her suitcase in the closet for a week before unpacking it.
I didn't ask why.
She left it open, half full, like a question neither of us were ready to answer. But then, one Sunday morning, I walked into our bedroom and found her sitting on the floor, folding the last of her clothes. "I figured I should stop pretending I'm not staying," she said. I nodded. sat beside her, helped her fold. We didn't say more than that. But that was the beginning. Not the romantic kind. The real kind. The one that grows in the quiet. We started cooking again. We argued over laundry. We forgot to buy groceries and ended up eating cereal for dinner. We kissed in the morning, not like a scene from a movie, but like we meant it even when we were tired. We learned how to fight better.
Softer.
Less like we were trying to win, and more like we were trying not to lose each other. One night, after an argument about something dumb, I think I forgot to text her when I was running late. She sat on the kitchen floor, barefoot in one of my sweatshirts, her eyes glassy.
"I'm still scared," she said.
"Me too," I whispered. "But I'm not leaving." She looked up. "Promise." "Promise."
And she believed me.
We made love on the living room rug that night, slow and deep and quiet, like we were rebuilding something under our skin. Her hands gripped my hips. Mine tangled in her hair. And when she whispered, "I love you," into my mouth, I said it back without hesitation. We weren't perfect. Some mornings we barely spoke. Some nights she fell asleep before I had the chance to tell her what was heavy on my mind. But she'd reach for me in her sleep. And I'd always reach back. One day, I got home from work to find her on the couch, surrounded by open notebooks and her laptop. "What's all this?" I asked. She smiled sheepishly. "I'm working on something." "Something like what?" "Something like a business plan." I raised an eyebrow. "Are we starting a Sapphic empire?" "Not yet, but maybe a queer-friendly consulting group. One that doesn't ignore who people really are." I sat beside her. "That's amazing." "It's scary. You're doing it anyway." She kissed me. "Because you make me brave." I touched her cheek. "You were brave before me. You just forgot." She laid her head in my lap. "Don't let me forget again." Never. Later that week, we had dinner with friends. The ones who'd seen us as roommates. Then as a maybe. Then as an almost. Now, finally, as a real thing. They teased us. "You two look annoyingly domestic," Jess said. Isla smirked. "That's because we are." I slipped my hand into hers under the table. She squeezed back. "How did it happen?" someone asked. "How did you know it was more than friendship?" I looked at Isla. She looked at me. And we both laughed. Because there wasn't a single moment. It was all of them. The swipes. The teasing. The shared beds. The almost kisses. The real ones. The nights apart. The mornings back together. It wasn't a question. It was always an answer. After dinner, walking home, Isla said, "I never thought I'd be this person." "What person?" "The one who's not afraid to love loudly." "Do you miss the quieter version?" "Not for a second." At home, she lit candles, played music low, pulled me into her arms like it was instinct. And I let her, because this was us now. Not a maybe, not a pause. A choice. Every single day. And as I laid with her that night, listening to her breathing settle, I whispered, "I'm not just in love with you, Isla. I like you. I like the way you laugh at your own bad jokes. I like how you drink tea when you're anxious. I like how you rearrange your books every month like your life depends on it." Her voice was thick with sleep. "You're not so bad yourself. Yeah, you make cereal taste like dinner. You make mistakes look like miracles." She reached for me in the dark. Our hands met under the covers. And I knew we'd be okay. Because we weren't chasing perfection anymore. We were just choosing each other. Over and over. And for the first time, it felt like enough. "I think we should get a cat," Isla said one night, out of nowhere as she tossed popcorn into her mouth, legs stretched across my lap like she hadn't just dropped a tiny bomb into our perfectly calm evening. I blinked. "A cat?" "Yes." "You want to adopt a living creature?" That's what people do when they're in love and disgustingly domestic, right? "I just didn't expect it from you. I'm full of surprises." "You're full of something," I muttered, trying not to smile.
She grinned.
"Come on. Think about it. A little cat that curls up with us on the couch, that judges us from the kitchen counter, that knocks your favorite mug off the shelf, and I blame it on fate. You've really thought this through. I might have a Pinterest board. You definitely have a Pinterest board. With name ideas. I'm terrified. You love it. And I did. Not because I desperately needed a cat in my life, but because this version of Isla, open, playful, planning, was something I never thought I'd get to see. And now she was here, dreaming out loud with me about a life we were slowly, quietly building. Okay, I said. We'll go to the shelter this weekend. Seriously? Yes. You're the best girlfriend ever. I know. She kissed me, quick and sweet, and for the rest of the night, she scrolled through adoption profiles while I pretended to be indifferent and secretly fell in love with 3 different kittens. But that night, as we lay in bed, her head on my chest, the lights off, the quiet soft between us, she whispered, "What do you think it'll look like?" What? Us. In 5 years. I hesitated. I don't know, but I think we'll still be making each other coffee. I think we'll fight about groceries and laugh about nothing. I think I'll still love how you fall asleep on the couch during every movie. Will we still live here? Maybe. Or maybe somewhere with more windows. And a cat. And a cat. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, "Do you ever think about forever?" My heart stopped for a beat. You mean like marriage? I mean like whatever that means to you. I turned my head, looked at her. I think about waking up next to you when we're 50. I think about you reading to me when my eyes get bad. I think about gray hair and soft hands and still choosing each other every single day. That sounds like forever to me. Are you scared of it? Not anymore. I kissed the top of her head. Me neither. The next day, we went to the shelter. We held 5 cats, fell in love with 2, fought over 1, and eventually came home with a wide-eyed black and white kitten we named Clementine. She destroyed the couch within a week, slept on my chest every night, and purred like a tiny engine whenever Isla came near. Clementine became part of our story, just like the movie nights, just like the morning coffees, just like the fight we had over closet space when Isla tried to bring in an entire new rack of jackets. You don't need 12 versions of the same black coat, I said, holding one up. They're all slightly different, she argued. You're insane. You love it. God help me, I do. And we laughed, loud and real, until we fell onto the bed together, out of breath, tangled, kissing like we were still discovering each other for the first time. And in many ways, we were, because love didn't stop evolving. It kept unfolding. Softly. Slowly. Then one afternoon, after a long walk with Clementine and her little carrier, yes, we were those lesbians, Isla stopped me just outside our apartment. Don't move, she said. What? Stay right here. Why? But she was already stepping back, pulling something out of her pocket. A small box. My breath caught. Isla, it's not a ring, she said quickly. Okay. Not yet. Okay. She opened it. Inside was a small gold key. To my backup lock, she said. To the future me who still gets scared sometimes. So if I ever forget what this is, what we are, you remind me. You use this. My eyes stung. You're giving me a key to your future anxiety? Exactly. I laughed. She stepped forward. I want to marry you someday, she said. I'm not ready yet, but I will be. And when I am, it won't be because I'm trying to fix something or prove something. It'll be because waking up next to you for the rest of my life feels like the most honest thing I'll ever do. I didn't speak. I just kissed her. Hard. Long. Until Clementine meowed dramatically and reminded us we were standing in the hallway like idiots. And maybe we were. Idiots. In love. Planning a life. One cat, one kiss, one gold key at a time. I didn't know how much I'd been waiting for forever until Isla made it feel like something we could build instead of something we had to find. The key stayed in my nightstand drawer. I never had to use it. She never ran. Not again. After that afternoon in the hallway, everything felt different. Not louder. Not bolder. Just more certain. She stopped hesitating before taking my hand in public. She kissed me mid-conversation, mid-laugh, mid-breakfast. She asked about my day and actually listened. And I found myself falling in love with her over and over again, not just when she said something sweet or touched me like I was the only thing in the room, but when she cried watching a documentary about whales, when she yelled at the TV during reality shows, when she stood up for herself at work, then called me afterward, voice shaking, just to hear mine. We built something together. Something slow, real. Something that didn't need labels to hold, but held anyway. Clementine claimed every piece of furniture in the apartment and exactly 2 of Isla's favorite sweaters. We hosted game nights with friends who no longer asked, "Are you to a thing?" but instead asked, "Whose turn is it to cook?" I started keeping a toothbrush in Isla's travel bag. She started calling my mom on her own. And one night, over takeout and bare feet, she looked up and said, "You feel like home." I smiled. So do you. Do you think it's always like this? Like what? This content. This easy. No, I said honestly. But I think we make it easy for each other. That's different. She nodded. I want to keep doing that. Me too. We spent the next months living inside that softness, that certainty. I got promoted. She launched the consulting group. We fought, sometimes, over dishes, over who forgot to feed the cat, over how many plants one woman could possibly buy in a single weekend. But we never fought scared. Not anymore. Because every disagreement ended with "I love you," with "I'm not going anywhere," with "come here." One night, we sat on the rooftop, wrapped in blankets, watching the city blink around us. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said, "Did you ever think we'd end up here?" Honestly?
No.
Same. But I can't imagine not ending up here. Same. And she reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a slip of paper. Folded. Familiar. "What's that?" I asked. "Something I found while cleaning." I took it. Opened it. It was the first list she made, back when she was helping me date. A list of potential matches. Notes beside each name. Cute, maybe boring. Good hair.
Weird vibe.
Probably into crystals. And at the very bottom, none of them are her. I looked up. She shrugged. I knew. Even then. "You made me go on 3 dates. I needed time to catch up. You still do." She grinned. "But I'm closer now." I leaned over and kissed her. Gentle. "You're already there." We sat in silence, her head on my shoulder, city humming around us. And I thought back to every moment that brought us here. The swipe, the couch, the fights, the night she almost left, the mornings she came back, the cat,
The key.
the nights we held each other just a little tighter because we'd almost lost this. And I realized something. It wasn't that I fell for my best friend. It was that I finally saw her clearly, without labels, without filters, without the fear of what we might ruin. I saw her, and I let myself want her. And she wanted me too. That was all it took. That was everything. "Hey," I said softly. "Yeah, ask me again someday." She looked up. "Ask you what?" "To marry you." Her eyes softened. "Okay. Not now. No rush. Just someday." She reached for my hand, laced our fingers together. Someday's already on its way. And it was. We couldn't see it yet, but it was coming. In quiet mornings, in soft kisses, in late-night takeout and overdue texts, and a cat that refused to stop sitting on our faces at 4 a.m. Our life was messy, funny, beautiful.
Ours.
And as I sat there beside her, her love tucked into every corner of my ribs, I knew my best friend wasn't just someone I fell for. She was the one I'd keep choosing. Every single day. Forever, starting now. Thank you so much for your support, whether it's by liking, commenting, sharing, or sending your super thanks. You make all the difference here on the channel. See you in the next video.